All right. Hey, everybody. We're going to talk to you a little bit about how to use degree check. So I have Nick on the line with me, and we're looking at his desktop here. And he's in eWolf. So hopefully you all know how to get into eWolf. And let's see if I can move this. Um, Nick, if you would scroll down and show people how to get into degree check, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in my eWolf. I'm scrolling down here to the degree check icon. I'm going to click on that.
Okay.
And it is loading. And can you see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So what you see here, folks, is that Nick's registered for as a wildlife technology student up top. So when you log in, whatever you have declared with the college is what's going to show up here. And this is actually pretty important because if you don't have the correct thing declared, it's not going to track your courses correctly, and you may end up taking extra courses that you don't need. It's also kind of important for us on the back end is it helps us know how many students are in our various programs. So please make sure you've declared something, and you can go in and change that at any time. But and you don't change it here in degree check, I don't think. Your advisors can help you with that though. So go in. We're going to look at Nick since wildlife technology is possibly what a lot of you have declared. And Nick's a pretty brand new student, so it'll be a good look for us. So you can kind of see his stuff. Now, Nick, if you would scroll down, and he has the student view up here too. That's important, so you'll want it to be in student view. It goes through and says, here's what you still need. And so keep scrolling down, Nick. It's going to come up with all of our, okay,
Oh,
yeah, pause right there. It's going to come up with
right
all
there.
of our
Okay. Yeah.
required courses for the AAS Wildlife Technology degree. And you can see that he's currently taking the Wildlife and Fisheries Management class, and he still needs all of these others that are in red. And as he scrolls down, you'll see this elective credits, and we need 12 electives. Go ahead and scroll just a little bit, Nick. And so you can see that he's currently in that NRE 225, and that this list of credits right here are all courses that will allow you to count for your wildlife technology degree. So he could pick, he needs 9 more essentially from this list. And so, everybody, one thing I want you to note from this list is on your maps. We did, on the newest maps that are out there, we have suggested electives. So those are ones that we think, hey, this is really applicable to the wildlife technology degree. But if you think, well, I really want more forestry or I want more of something, this is your chance to kind of tailor your degree to your specific interest and make you unique. So maybe you want to take more GIS, or maybe you want to take more environmental education, stuff like that. So this is a great place to make an appointment with Jennifer Lee or I and talk to us about what elective credits you want to take. Your advisors, Nick and Marla, are the advisors for our program. So if you've declared forestry or wildlife or natural resources or one of our certificates, they're going to send you to Nick and Marla. And I'll talk about them in another video. But Nick and Marla won't be able to answer which of these would be your best options. Jennifer and I can. Now, the other thing about this is some of these classes transfer to CSU and others don't, or to whatever university. So when you're choosing electives and you think you might want to transfer after getting this degree, you may want to choose elective credits that would be more likely to transfer to a university. And that's another question for Jennifer or I on this side. Okay, so keep scrolling down and you can see these are the required classes that Nick gets to take. I'm sure he's super excited. I can see you jumped into a whole bunch of those this semester, Nick.
Yeah.
So keep scrolling down. And
Okay.
then you get your general studies elective. So he needs 6 credits total out of this massive list. And so again, you choose wisely there. Choose something that's either really interesting to you or that a classmate recommends or that an advisor recommends. And I probably shouldn't say this recorded, but it's always a good idea to ask students about the different teachers they had and then check the course catalog for who's teaching what. Most of you have probably figured out that a teacher can make or break the content. So kind of do some background digging before just jumping into some of these general elective classes. And we have a lot of adjunct instructors at Front Range. If you hear about one that is fantastic and you really want to take a class from that same person, you can reach out to the department chair and ask who teaches that class or when that person might be teaching next and try and kind of finagle your way into a specific class. So just kind of like some sneaky little things you learn in college. The longer you're in it, the more you care about getting into the best class. So because you figure out the hard way that bad teachers make life miserable. Not the Front Range has any bad teachers, but I'm just saying. Okay, so scroll down some more, Nick.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that's kind of the end of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's
So
the end.
when you have your degree declared, this is a really good tool. But the other tool I want to show you is if Nick goes up to the top left here, there's a what if button. And if he clicks on that, he has the option to say, okay, I'm not actually changing my degree of what I've declared, but I can go in and choose but if I were going to. So we're going to have him declare a certificate. So instead of the Associates of Applied Science, he's going to choose that certificate option. And then down there under pick a major, he's going to choose the wildlife. Or we have 8 or 9 certificates. So pick any of them. You can kind of go through and pick any of the certificates that we offer. But since he's in a wildlife class, we'll pick that one. Okay.
I didn't go.
I don't think it selected it yet. And Nick's doing this from a tablet. So if he can do it from a tablet, so can you. All right. So he's selected that. And then he's going to go up and click that process what if button, kind of center right by the student view. And what this does, it'll say, all right, he's still declared as an AAS degree, but if he just wants a certificate for whatever reason, maybe he's like, I just want to add these to my transcript as I go, he can see what he qualifies for right here in this screen. So as he scrolls down, it'll show that he still needs Colorado Wildlife. So he could take that next fall from me. Sorry, Nick, you're stuck with me in that class. And then he would have to pick one of these other electives. And actually, NRE 225 counts. So all he would need to get is Colorado Wildlife, and then he would have that wildlife certificate. So I talk about that in another video, kind of the benefit of that. If he clicked this and it showed that he'd met all these requirements, then he needs to go into the apply for graduation button on your homepage. I guess I'll make a little video about that sometime too. And then he can just apply to graduate with that certificate and it'll show up on his transcript from then on after that semester. So we encourage you guys to apply for certificates as you're going through your degree and not wait and do them all at the end because it helps you and it helps us. And I talk about that elsewhere. So he could go in and he could click the forestry certificate, he could click GIS or whatever he's interested in and see what is still needed. Or if he was like, maybe I don't want to do a wildlife technology, it's very likely Nick will take a forestry class next fall and go, man, I love forestry. Trees really are the answer. And then he wants to change his major. He could look in this what if tool and see that probably everything he's already taken would count for that major too. But that's a good tool to go in and go, how much extra work would I have to do if I changed my major? And usually you guys, we have this set up so that if you're in your first year and you're following our maps, probably everything you've taken from us will count for those other degrees, at least as an elective. So just know that it's rarely too late for you to toggle between forestry and wildlife and natural resources as your degree. I think that is all that I felt like I needed to show you guys on this. So check out Degree Check and play around with it. See if you've already qualified for any certificates. And if so, apply to graduate with those. Even if it's too late this semester, but I don't think it is, they can apply it toward next semester. All right, I'm going to stop our recording.